not knocking the guy. Like, he's a great wrestler, and he's got something about him. He's got a great presence. It's just, when there's other people who's around there, and you've got Randy Orton who's in limbo. He's not doing much with Bray Wyatt, and you've got Bray Wyatt himself. He's only just recently picked up a title. How long that's been, and it's not been great for him. There are other options for him to turn to. I'm not too sure they're looking to make another big star, especially when not too far off the mark now. You look into the future and you're going to see people like Samoa Joe coming up, and it's going to have to be all or nothing for Joe. They're going to have to heavily back him, or he's going to have to help someone like Corbin get across even more. So I think they're going to be short on resources when the new crop of NXT people come up, so that might affect Baron Corbin's chances slightly.
Yeah. I totally agree with everything Matt said, and the business about Seth Rollins for me, again, it's not that he's unpopular. I just think that he's got nothing going for him since his comeback, and it doesn't help that this whole Triple H thing going on has not, God Almighty, just get it over and done with already, because that got so stale, Matt. Like the fact we've had to wait for all this to sort of develop, and there's no real reasoning. And the fact is, Matt, let's be honest, when Seth Rollins first came back, he should have been a babyface, right? I mean, if they'd have done it then and hit the ground off after that 24 program they put out, when you see how much this guy gives a damn, and it's very much like CM Punkish. He wants to be the main guy. He had a bit of attitude, but people really respect him. If they'd have just gone with that, Matt, when he first come back, surely that he would have been a little bit more popular and getting a bit more over than when he come back and he had to do the heel thing, when really fans, they didn't really want to boo him. That's the problem. But now it seems like it's one of those things where they've just left it too late for me. Like, it's too little too late with this one. What do you think with Seth Rollins, man? Because he's a tremendous star, and like this time last year he got injured, and we was all sort of thinking if only we had him. But now we're sort of thinking, well, it's not as big a deal as perhaps what we thought. I mean, the way they sort of treated him a little bit, he's not had a great win-loss record either. That's not helped. So, what do you think it is with Seth Rollins at the minute? What is missing there, Matt?
Yeah, I think it's that they haven't really known what to do with him. I think this whole thing with Triple H has been hanging over his head, and it's been such a burden to him because, it's been long rumored since last WrestleMania that they were supposed to have this match, and it's just felt like ever since then, it's just been, he's been going through the motions, waiting for this match, and they haven't been committing to him, haven't been wanting to let him have a title or anything, just in case that match is going to crop up, or they're going to kick off the feud, which never actually happened in the end. I know they had that moment where Triple H costing the title, but since then, there's been nothing to it. And like you said about his comeback, he's got the pedigree from Triple H now. That's his finisher. He had an injury similar to Triple H's, had a hard road to recovery similar to Triple H's. And then, yet we all remember the Royal Rumble when Triple H come back, and he left as a heel, he came back as a hero, and that was the way it was. And how much more similar has his journey got to be to Triple H's for him to learn from that? And, it would have been so much better for him to come back as a face, and get a reaction and get the fans on his side. But it's been difficult for him because, he didn't get that. And now, the fans for a long time didn't know what to make of him, and they keep teasing a reunion with the Shield. It's like he's all over the place. Is he his own man? Is he part of a group? Is he Roman's best friend that they keep telling us? Because I find that hard to believe as well.
Short memory.
Yeah, he's got a short-term memory, it seems, lately these days. But, it just feels like he's an X-Factor now. It feels like he could be whatever they want him to be. I don't feel like this Triple H match is set in stone anymore because, we've heard nothing from him. And, getting into it later, what he might do in the Royal Rumble, that could possibly be an X-Factor.
Yeah, it's fine. It's tough to say, to be honest with you, Stay Lucky, but he's definitely got the in-ring quality. We know that. It's just a case of getting the right stories for him, and something where he's not having to be involved necessarily with the title every time. Because every time he's involved with a title, he's having to lose because he's putting the other guy over. And I don't think the feud with Kevin Owens really done him any good. That was too soon. They should have waited for that. Because really, Matt, if you think about it, if they'd have not had them two feuding so early, that could have been a WrestleMania match right there between Seth and Owens. You know, that could have been like one of the big sort of anticipated matches. Two previous NXT champions who had a pretty decent reign down there, all of a sudden coming to the end. You know, both guys kind of groomed by Triple H in a way. So it would have been ideal, but they sort of rushed that, didn't they, Matt? And unfortunately, Seth Rollins lost a lot of credibility after that in a way. Although it was Kevin Owens always sort of doing cheating and all the rest of it, it still didn't do him much good in that sense. And I think WWE underestimate just how much damage losses can actually do for your baby faces. So yeah, it doesn't set him very well. Let's take another question now. Still Neil emails in. Brock is my wild card pick. Just think WWE has always looked at him as a blockbuster attraction despite the Goldberg match. My main pick though is Undertaker. Just see him winning and Cena winning the title. Your thoughts? So interesting point that he's made there still. But again, like I say, Matt, there's lots of different ways the Rumble could go tonight, and it's nice to see that everybody's come up with somebody sort of almost different, which is good. Which is how the bookies have been all week, by the way, very up and down. But that's probably a good sign, Matt, isn't it, that we are getting this? I've got to say, Brock Lesnar, I definitely wouldn't have had him in even a wild card pick. I still wouldn't have had him as there. But of course, you got to remember, I suppose, Matt, if he didn't have that loss against Goldberg, I suppose we would be looking at Brock as a decent pick in this one, like a bit like last year, like we did, because he is the sort of main attraction guy. And even on Raw recently, you could see, Matt, that WWE are still putting a lot of eggs in one basket, the way he was chucking around their main full-time guys, They didn't seem to have a problem doing that, did they?
No, he is still well protected, he'll always be a big draw no matter what anyone says, you can go for a loss here and there, but when you've racked up a record like he has and made an impact, and done the things that he has, that WWE's invested enough time in you're going to be a big attraction, you're going to draw the money because people want to see that kind of dominant force that he is.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. So, as far as your main pick goes, the Undertaker. Well, he's been favourite for a lot on the bookies. I mean, I think the Undertaker, again, there's so much logic for him. The reason that he should win it, but at the same time, I'm thinking, well, he done it in 07. I don't know if I need to see it again. It was one of the only things he never won. Second time round, it's not like a big deal. It's not like he's won it for the first time. So, does he need it? Of course he doesn't. I mean, he doesn't need anything right now. This guy can retire right now today, and we say this is arguably, I'd say, top 3 best ever careers of any WWE superstar, like hands down, most consistent, like easily. And that's no small feat when I put him in the top 3 of every single guy, including Steve Austin. So he can retire, Matt, quite well off and know that. But for you, Matt, is there credibility that Undertaker is a real threat in this one, and that we shouldn't take him too lightly, and that he is a sort of main sort of pick for this?
Oh, I don't know. He's such a conflict of his own self, because he came back on the SmackDown 900, didn't he, and said WrestleMania will not define him, and then he enters the match for a shot at the main event at WrestleMania. It's a bit of a problem there with that. I don't really like that idea. I do think that Undertaker is one of the top 3 most likely people to win the Rumble. It's just, I'm not too sure he really needs that. I think other people need that spot more than he does. And like I said earlier about John Cena losing, I would have no problem with John Cena losing and Undertaker losing, and then, them both questioning their spot in the actual company, and then them having a match, and both walking, only one walks out. I know it's a horrible thought to think that we could lose the Undertaker for good, but right now we should be thinking about that seriously, because he is older and his performance has dropped slightly, so I wouldn't blame the guy for bowing out whilst he's still on top.
Sure. Okay, so next question. We've got Julian now who emails in. Roman Reigns winning, no thanks. I'm getting to the point where I can no longer stand this man. I may stop watching WWE if he wins this belt. Please tell me there's no chance of him winning. Well, we did review that, and of course, if you led to believe what me and Matt go for, he won't be winning. He won't be winning the title at least. But Julian does seem very upset if he does, Matt, as still the haters are there for Roman Reigns, I suppose. By the way, I'm going to make a point that I think he became the first, he won an award, Matt. I don't know if you saw it all over the news reports. It might have been, I don't know what magazine it was, but one of the big magazines, might have been PWI. They gave him in the rankings. He was the first ever proclaimed babyface to win most hated wrestler. Normally it's a heel, but he was the first ever one that's ever happened. So he won an award for greatest sort of heel work when he's trying to play a babyface, which I think just about sums the whole thing up, doesn't it really, Matt? I mean, it's getting bloody ridiculous. But the thing that bothers me with Roman Reigns now is that people keep saying, well, the way he comes out now, he gets a mixed reaction. Will WWE look at that like being the next John Cena, that he can create all this buzz? I don't think it's the same, Matt. I mean, I really don't. I know people keep throwing that line out, like, oh, but look, he can generate all this mixed reaction, like Roman's, let's go Roman sucks. But to me, I think the Roman Reigns thing is totally different to John Cena. I mean, I don't know if that's just me. What do you think, Matt? Is it the same or is it?
I'm going to go on an incredibly unpopular opinion here and say
everyone.
WWE did have something special in Roman, yeah. He's got the look, and he's impact and everything, but the potential was there when they had him, and he was hated for a heel turn, and then to become cool again. But I think now we're at the point where even if WWE do wise up and there's a heel turn, the fans will see whatever horrendous act he does and go, so what? It still sucks.
Yeah.
So I think there's a bit of a problem there. I think he's always now going to be categorised and hated, no matter what he does. So maybe WWE is seeing that and thinking, yeah, might as well keep him as a face then, because even if we turn him heel now, that could backfire massively.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult situation. Well, thank you for your question, Julian, your point there. Shane, now, interesting. This is an interesting question, Matt. I thought when this came in, and it makes perfect sense because I haven't looked at it in that way before until he put this across. And Shane says, what makes a good Royal Rumble? Is it always down to the person that wins it, or can we think the Rumble it has been a great match? I think a lot is down to the winner. Your thoughts. So I guess what he's saying in a way that Shane's trying to say is that we look at the Royal Rumble match like when you try and it's a bloody difficult match to sort of score on, isn't it, Matt? Like to say, what's been the greatest Royal Rumble match? It's very difficult. Do we look at the winners more or less to say it's been a good Royal Rumble match? Is that true that we are like that, or do we go, that was an amazing Royal Rumble because all these different things happened and it was really well put together regardless of whoever wins?
I would say the winner is very important for the winner because they go on to WrestleMania. In certain circumstances they become heavyweight champion, so I've got to say the winner makes a big deal because it's at the end of the night, usually the Royal Rumble is the main event. Sometimes it isn't, but usually it is. And, it's that feeling you get left with at the end of the show, who is the actual big deal? Who are they putting, their, expectations on? And what are we going to see at WrestleMania? You don't want to end the night and think, I've got to see that guy at WrestleMania. I'm not interested. They got to sell tickets to WrestleMania on this, so...
There's alarm bells of a couple of years ago when you said that, when The Rock had to come out.
Oh yeah, God, yeah, that didn't even work. So, if you're going to talk about a Royal Rumble in general and just say is it exciting and is it the other participants in the match? If you look at the was it 2001? That was the hardcore one where all this hardcore stuff happened.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we all look back on that one and go, oh, that one was one of the best. You know, because just like that was almost like a case of too much happening and too many spots and too much comedy. You know,